Greetings, I am nothing, I am nobody, and this is my opinion. Alright, I know it's tradition to say in these videos, rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm not going to do that this time. See, I'm a bit of an asshole, and if you like this video, you won't like my other videos. You can rate and comment all you like. However, save yourself a headache and do not subscribe. Anyway, this is a fan theory for Hazbin Hotel, specifically about one of the characters in Hazbin Hotel, Cherry Bomb. Now, in Hazbin Hotel, all the characters are in hell, so they all died and so on. And as I understand it, Cherry Bomb died in the 1980s, and she's all into bombs, and she's Australian. In the 1980s, there was a culture called, anarchists culture, that are all anarchists, and their Bible was the Anarchist Cookbook. It was a book that had bomb recipes as a test of the U.S. Constitution, the First Amendment, and the strength of it. And so there's that. However, it's a test of the United States First Amendment. That doesn't apply to Australia. So how would Cherry Bomb, an Australian, get her hands on the Anarchist Cookbook? Here's how. Now, this book was published out of Berkeley, and I'm walking distance from Berkeley. And a lot of people they would take recipes out of the Anarchist Cookbook and publish them online. Now, 1980s, this is not the time of the internet. Instead, we had what were called BBSs. All right. So what you had to do to get onto a BBS is instead of going on an internet service provider, you would call the BBS directly. Okay. So if you were to call a BBS from the United States to Australia, you're incurring a significant long distance phone bill. But some people would do that. Anyway, the point being that BBSs would carry files. So people would break up these bomb recipes into individual files and post them on BBSs, and people would share these files across different BBSs, and they could make it all the way to Australia. Since there was, the whole BBSs were like an underground culture. All right, the authorities wouldn't know, so there it is. So my theory is that Cherry Bomb was on BBSs. She was a computer hacker, not just an anarchist. She was an anarchist and a computer hacker in the 1980s. She would have, therefore, a 8-bit computer, one relevant to the 1980s, and she would be interested in that technology, that layer of technology. It also explains, her comment of, get that Tinker Toy bullshit out of here. She's looking at Snake Boy's airship, and to her, that's archaic technology. And hackers will say stuff like that. Now, it would always be like local slang, and I would not know what hacker slang would be in the 1980s in Australia. I do know what hacker slang is for my locality, but but that's not relevant to Cherry Bomb since she's not living in California. In the United States. She's all the way up in Australia. So there's that. As for how she died, now a lot of anarchist communities have this rule. Yes, I know. Anarchist having rules, it's more of a suggestion than a rule. Still, the idea is that they would suggest you don't make the bombs. All right, because you can learn them, but don't make them. Because if you make them, it might detonate while you're making them. I think that's what happened with Cherry Bomb. Is she made the bombs, so one time while she was making a bomb, it detonated. Now I want to side note. This isn't a recipe from the Anarchist Cookbook, but there were some people that were publishing separate recipes that were not found in the book. And there was one recipe that was interesting that I did download and memorized. To tell you how to make a bomb. All right, it actually tells you how to make two different bombs. One called an M80, another a cherry bomb. It was a modification of a firecracker of the same name. And what you had to do was buy a firecracker manufacturing kit and modify the firecracker so that it would detonate a more powerful explosive, so that you were turning a firecracker into a bomb. Again, one of them is an M80 and one of them is a cherry bomb. And I know that because, like, the name of the file actually is about M80s, but cherry bomb is the other firecracker that was mentioned in that in those instructions. Right? Because sometimes you can't get your hands on an M80 an M80 kit, so you can get your so some places you can get your hands on a cherry bomb kit. It's an alternative instructions. The M80 is recommended. Anyway, the point is, that's her name. Okay, and it was interesting that one of the easiest to make bombs that I know about. Never made them. All right, especially since I live in California and I can't get firecracker making kits. But it was the easiest bomb to make that I know of, and that is a cherry bomb. It's interesting. Okay, just a note. And if I had made them, my understanding is they would look like the bombs cherry bomb is throwing. It's I just, yeah. Okay, it would look like a very big firecracker because that's what it is. It's a very big firecracker with a with a core loaded with a much more powerful explosive. That's what she's throwing. Okay, and that's what those are, is overloaded firecrackers that have a core that is more powerful. Like so the firecracker sets off something more powerful. Anyway, the point being, all right, I know how to make those. I know how to make what cherry bomb is throwing. I know how to make them. I've never made one, but I know how to make them. I know, and and they would be about the same size as what she's throwing. It's a little scary. Okay, but yes, if you did make those, there's a very good chance that the core material would detonate before you get a chance to make your bomb. So I wouldn't do it. Okay, and that's how I think she went to hell. Is one of her plastique or or something that she was making detonated on her. Yeah, very very unstable stuff. Okay. Anyway, there it is. That's my that's my fan theory. Also, I have a fan theory that basically that song "Addict." All right, there's when she talks about money and power. Okay, there's an image of another character that we have not been introduced to yet that shows up. I think that's her toxic influence. You know, Angel Dust has Valentino holding him back as his toxic influence. I think Cherry Bomb has her own toxic influence. That guy, the unnamed character, is holding her back, and is using money and power to hold her back, to hold to restrain her. So that's my thought. Okay, so she's chained by money and power. Okay, whereas Angel Dust is chained up by drug addiction. Okay, and yeah, my theory. Okay, like I said, so we'll see. Yeah, Angel Dust has a pet. I think we're gonna see Cherry Bomb has a computer. A 1980s 8-bit style Apple II, K Pro, TRS-80, BBC Micro, whatever. I don't know. We'll find out.